preparedness communications. We see them all the time. We think they're very, very important. But what's the end state goal? What are we trying to achieve when the government issues various different information? What are we trying to get the people to do? Preparedness communications have long been based on a strategy that came out of civil defense. And civil defense was the organization that emerged, militaristic, hierarchical organization that was designed to kind of give us guidance in type of a nuclear attack during the Cold War. The idea being is that we would have the ability to evacuate when we knew the Soviet bombers were coming over the Arctic. We'd probably have about 6 hours notice, and they actually did conduct in the 1960s an evacuation of portions of the city of Calgary to southern cities in an area to demonstrate how this actually worked. Now, with the advent of international continental ballistic missiles, that just went away because notice went to 60 days. So civil defense communications from the government of Canada, the government of the United States, and around the world was about how to build a bunker in your basement. And the idea was you're not going to be able to escape or drive fast enough, or the notice you're going to get is simply going to give you time to get into your basement in your pre-established, pre-stocked bunker and take the hit. And because nuclear fallout lasted for about 14 days until it was safe to a human being to emerge, then 14 days was basically told to put stockpiles, food, water, and then for some extra time after that. There was always this ideological frame that the government would be able to get back up and running and come back. But the reality of it is, should that total nuclear exchange have ever occurred, the government would have not been able to build back. It would not have been able to recover, and society would have largely returned to some form of tribalism. Now, that's what our current preparedness communications are about. They're about training the population to be really good victims. Victims, but better victims. So basically, sit in your home, wait, take the hit, take care of yourself, and we'll come to save you eventually. Now, modern education that we've had, modern studies that have been done, and a bunch of research that we've done here at Preparedness Labs Incorporated, and I personally have been involved in, has looked at a number of things that actually turn that clock around. Basically, we inform and tell people that, hey, listen, there are strategies so that the event doesn't hurt you. If you think about it this way, it's very, very clear. Do you want to stop everything you're doing when an exogenous shock happens or something happens to you and your family and wait for the government to come save you and fix everything? Or do you want to build a system where events happen, you bounce around a little bit, you absorb the shock, you and your family are rock solid, your business as well, your corporate endeavors, your employment, your education, it all carries on through the event? Look at the pandemic. Look what happened in 2020 when the world shut down. How many people simply stopped what they were doing, sheltered in place, and waited for this thing to go away, to be fixed, to be addressed, and to have everything set up again? And when that turned out not to be 2 weeks to flatten the curve, people started realizing that, hold on a second, I need to pay bills, right? I need to work, etc. And it wasn't being fixed. People then turned to the government to save them and asked for a bunch of money. And the governments around the world issued some form of checks, etc., to individuals, to family members, to help them get through that kind of event, right? But what about the people who pivoted? What about the people who were ready to go? They had a preparedness plan, they had a strategy, and when there was a significant interruption that was of unknown duration to their current employment and to their current lifestyle, they hit down their pivot plan. People were up and running in a new line of business, in a new employment, in a new job, etc., and weren't relying on an external agency or organization to either provide them the support they needed or pay their bills for them. Those individuals had a robust preparedness plan. They thought about simple questions about what happens when I get fired. Right? What is my plan when I get fired? Because everybody leaves their job, right? You're either going to die, you're going to quit, you're going to get fired, or you're going to retire. At some time in the future, you will no longer be doing what you're doing now. Hopefully, it will be at a time and place of your choosing. And even if it is a time and place in your choosing, what are you intending to do next? That's fine. That's a retirement strategy. I'm going to work for 35 years, top up my RRSPs, or get a defined benefit pension plan from my employer, whatever it may be, and you're good to go. But what about the times when you're not? What about that strategy when you're told, hey, see you later, big fella, pandemic or economic or otherwise, you're fired? Not having that plan right now and not being able to pivot is a form of preparedness problems, right? So you have a great strategy, you come up with these ideas, and we see that now we're starting again wildfire season, right? Wildfire season is kicked off in Alberta. They've already issued their first set of communications. I posted something online about it today, and now you're looking at the potential that what happens if it does happen in your neighborhood. Depending where you live, the wildfire could be naturally caused. You may live in a row of townhouses, and Buddy's townhouse at the end catches fire, and it rips through all of the townhouses and takes yours down. What's your strategy? Where are you evacuating to? Where are you going? How are you going to keep paying your bills? How are you going to continue to earn your income? Because you also have to think that just maybe, your place of work burns down in the wildfire. Your house may be fine, right? Your house may have survived. Good on you, and I'm happy for it. But what if your place of employment burns down, right? Here in Canada, employment insurance would cover that after a short waiting period, up to 55% of your income to a maximum of $55,000 a year, or something like that. If you're working at a $140,000 a year government job, all of a sudden that EI is pretty tough to survive upon, and now you're scrambling to try to figure out what to do next instead of executing a well-understood, well-practiced, and knowledgeable and informed plan. Are you going to lead, or are you going to be a victim? That is a choice you get to make right now as we begin another season of emergency management, heightened operations in wildfires, in floods, and a whole bunch of other things that are going to come our way. You've got to look at that incredible person in the mirror and ask yourself, are you ready to handle with whatever could happen, right? Drop over to our website at www.preparednesslabs.ca. All the information is there for you. Listen to our podcast at Inside My Canoe Head, available on all platforms, free of charge, 250 plus episodes. Take care. Stay safe.